Commander Cayuel had known war since before his tusks broke through his flesh. Born in the breeding pits of Sarek Prime, raised on molten ground, he was a warrior forged in blood and violence. His kind, the Kravos, thrived on conquest. Their dominance stretched across 9 sectors, and now their black banners circled Earth, another weakling planet to crush and harvest. Only Earth wasn't what they expected. Cayuel had landed on Terra 9, a human colony world reduced to ruins during the initial bombardment. Cities burned. The sky had turned to ash. Their resistance had been crushed. Or so they believed. But then came reports, intercepted transmissions, motion in the ruins. One survivor. Female. Alone. The higher command mocked it. A leftover. A glitch in cleanup. Cayuel didn't. He requested permission to land alone. He didn't take honor guards. No scouts. No drones. Just him, his blade, and his tracking mask. He would silence the last echo of Terra 9. He arrived in silence. The dropship hissed open. The air was thick with the stench of vaporized carbon and burnt oil. Skyscrapers lay as bones, steel ribs poking through fractured concrete. Wind carried only dust and quiet. His boots cracked bone. He activated a scanner. A faint heat signature. Southeast, moving erratically. She runs. Cayuel muttered, almost disappointed. As expected. But when he approached the signal, he found only a shredded cloak on a pipe, gently swinging in the breeze. Then the trap exploded. Not enough to kill, but enough to wound. Shrapnel sliced across his shoulder. His HUD blinked. A small EMP burst disrupted his tracker. He dropped to one knee, growling. She wasn't running. She was waiting. Cayuel adjusted his armor, his pride flickering. He'd fought humans before. They cried. They surrendered. This wasn't the same. He moved building to building. Once, he caught her silhouette in a shattered window. Too fast a target. Just enough to mock. The traps continued. Wired panels, diverted heat signals, pressure triggers, and collapsed floors. She knew the city like a wolf knew its den. Each trap wasn't designed to kill, but to observe, measure him. She's hunting me, Cayuel whispered, teeth clenched. By the 4th hour, his breathing was labored, not from exhaustion, from humiliation. He was being played. He finally spotted her at dusk, crouched above a broken bus, silent, unmoving. She didn't flee. Cayuel charged, but before he reached her, the ground beneath him gave way. A sinkhole rigged with destabilizers. He crashed 5 stories into a subway tunnel, armor cracking on the impact. His helmet flashed red. He rose, limping, heart pounding. And there she was, standing at the far end of the tunnel, backlit by flame, holding nothing but a steel pipe and what looked like an old maintenance tool. She looked like a girl, no more than 20, dirty, scarred, eyes cold. "Hello," she said. Cayuel's blade ignited. "You will die screaming." But she didn't look afraid. Instead, she smiled. "I hope you scream." She vanished into smoke, and the tunnel exploded behind her. Cayuel stumbled through the collapsing tunnel, his breathing shallow. His helmet displayed multiple system errors, targeting offline, vitals erratic, armor integrity at 61%. He should have retreated, called for backup, but pride didn't allow it. He was Kravos. He did not run from prey. He extinguished it. The tunnel behind him burned. Gas lines rigged. She hadn't just found traps. She'd built them. This wasn't desperation. This was training. Tactical precision. Impossible. Humans didn't operate like this alone. He emerged from the tunnel into an underground platform. Old advertisements flickered on crumbling walls. A human child's drawing was half burned near the bench. Stick figures of family, smiling under a blue sun. Cayuel turned and froze. A motion sensor had been rigged to a collapsed vending machine. It beeped, then exploded. Concrete rained from the ceiling. Steel bars fell. His shoulder was crushed under a girder. He roared, lifted it with a scream, and pushed forward. The moment he cleared the rubble, she was there, not in front. Above, she dropped like a shadow from the ceiling. Boots slammed into his spine. Her blade flashed. Not metal, ceramic composite, designed to bypass armor sensors. It stabbed deep into the joint behind his neck plate. He spun, grabbing her arm. She didn't panic. She twisted her body, using the leverage to rip the blade sideways through the joint. Sparks erupted. He slammed her into a wall. She coughed blood but grinned. "See," she rasped. "I read your manuals. Weak spot, segment 9C. Cravo's tactical armor. You should have updated it after the Thorn Wars." He stared at her. "How?" She laughed, pulling a secondary blade from her belt. "You think we never studied you?" He lunged, faster than before, rage giving him strength. She dodged, but not completely. He grabbed her by the throat, lifted her. He expected gasping, pleading, but her eyes didn't break. She looked through him. "I used to fix ships," she whispered. "Engines, shields, communications. Then your kind came, slaughtered my colony, took my little brother, burned my mother alive." She spat blood into his face. "So I learned to do more than fix things." She reached down, yanked a wire from his chest plate. Caruel froze. A beeping sound started. A pulse mine inside his own armor. "I disarmed that from one of your dead scouts. Been waiting for you to lift me." He dropped her. The explosion flung them both in opposite directions. His armor ruptured. He skidded across the floor, vision blurred. Blood, his own, splattered the walls. She lay against the far wall, breathing hard, hurt but alive. Caruel's mind spun. She had used his own body weight against him, triggered the device with proximity, predicted his emotional response. She had studied not just his weapons, but his psychology. She crawled to her knees, wiped the blood from her mouth. "This isn't revenge," she said softly. "It's adaptation." "You're not a soldier," Caruel growled, coughing up ichor. "You're a child." "I was," she said. "Not anymore." Caruel tried to rise. Systems failing. Legs heavy. Blade gone. He reached for his emergency beacon, but the screen blinked. Signal jammed. His eyes widened. She held up a battered human device, an ancient transmitter blinking green. "Signal jammer," she said, "built from scraps in your own comms tech. I modified your encryption last night." He didn't answer. Couldn't. The girl stood fully now, blood dripping from her chin. "You invaded a planet thinking we were weak, that we'd roll over. You trained your warriors to kill, but never to listen, never to learn." She stepped forward. "You don't understand, do you? You're not the hunter here. You just entered the new training ground. Earth isn't where humans die." She pressed a button on her wrist. A wall slid open behind her, an old cargo door. Dozens of blinking lights came into view. More traps, more machines, more data. It's where we evolve. Caruel dropped to one knee, his vision flickering. The HUD was gone now, completely. The tactical overlay he'd trusted for decades had been dismantled piece by piece by a human mechanic. Not a general, not a commando, just a girl from a colony that should have died in silence. He wasn't afraid of death. But this was humiliation. "You can't win," he growled, more to himself than her. "One human doesn't change the outcome of war." She stood still, watching him like a biologist observing a specimen. "I'm not trying to win," she said. "I'm just a prototype." Caruel blinked. "Prototype." She nodded. "They always said humans were emotional. Too fragile. We were. That was our flaw. That was our limit. But then something changed. You killed the ones who held us back. The weak. The soft. You left the ones who adapted." She moved to a nearby crate, opened it. Inside was a display. Old data cores. Alien interface chips wired to human components. Caruel recognized them. Cravo's tech. Military grade. "You reverse engineered our systems?" She smirked. "No. I improved them." A screen lit up behind her. Footage began playing. Cravo's warships falling. Others like Caruel's species, massive, cruel, technologically superior, being outmaneuvered. Dozens of alien species, all brought to ruin by small, precise, calculated attacks. This is happening across the galaxy. she said softly. We don't send fleets. We send people. Survivors. Adapted humans. No flag. No warning. She stepped closer, her voice colder now. You thought we were prey. You taught us how to fight, and then you left us alive. That was your last mistake. Caruel tried to rise. His limbs responded like rusted steel. He reached for a weapon that wasn't there. She didn't flinch. She just watched, like a predator that no longer needed to prove its place. You know what I used to do? She said. Maintenance. I fixed coolant leaks. I rerouted power cores. I knew where everything should be. She pointed to his shattered chest plate. And now I know where everything breaks. Caruel roared and lunged. A last strike. One final desperate act. She stepped sideways, letting him crash into the console. Wires and sparks flew. Then she stabbed upward with her ceramic blade, through the exposed seam in his armor, right into his secondary heart. He froze. No scream. Just silence. She stepped back, breathing hard. Caruel stumbled, blood flooding from the wound. I was a commander, he whispered, collapsing to his knees. I've crushed civilizations. I am Kravos. She knelt beside him. You were a warning, she said quietly, to the next ones who come. His eyes locked on hers, fading, desperate, defeated. What are you? Her expression didn't change. I'm not your enemy, she said. I'm your evolution. His body collapsed, lifeless. She stood slowly, looked around. The ruins were silent again, but not dead. Behind her, systems activated. Uploads began transmitting to other human outposts, off-grid bunkers, orbital shadows still hidden from Kravos' eyes. She wasn't alone. Dozens of names scrolled across the cracked screen. Others like her. Survivors. Prototypes. Adaptations. And under each name, one word. Awakened. As she walked away from the body of the great Kravos commander, her voice echoed into her comms. Target neutralized. Upload complete. Coordinates ready for next hunt. A soft reply came through. We see you, Echo 17. Good work. New contact approaching Sector 14. Another one of theirs. She didn't even hesitate. Send me.